check out this headline. Biden eyes tax hike on income over $400,000 to fund Medicare. Now here's the breakdown of the proposal. Biden's budget will propose hiking taxes on Americans making over $400,000 per year and allowing the government new power to negotiate drug prices as part of an effort the White House says will extend the solvency of a key Medicare program for another quarter century, reporting coming from Bloomberg Law. Now, all right, now we gonna give the president a silver star for this, for making this proposal. But I gotta take my star back. Now, Max may disagree with me, and that's fine, because you know what? He don't have to totally agree with me as this. Now, Max, I'm giving the president a silver star. Notice it's not gold and it's not platinum, but I'm gonna take it back. And one of the reasons why, Max, I'm taking it back is I wish he had introduced this proposal in the 117th Congress. That's why. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't know if you've looked at the House, but it is not a party in control now that's interested in passing any protections for Medicaid or taxing any rich people. And one of the things that frustrates me with this is it's almost the White House doing something it knows isn't going to pass to make it seem harder than it is to get done. As Joe Biden said last year, and it did last year, there are executive orders we could do right now to achieve a big chunk of this. But by doing it this way, then we can say, well, the White House tried, it didn't work, and let them off the hook. And I don't think we should.
Max, I'm with you. Put us side by side. Now see, team, go ahead. Thank you, team. Teamwork makes the dream work. I want y'all to know that we got a team here that we cannot see, but they making Max and I, they working this thing. So Max, that is it. I love what you said, harder, making it seem like it's harder to get done. And in doing it this way, it really disheartens the American people. And to me, it makes the American people just kind of lose their ability to reimagine how things should be done with public policy, and that they actually do deserve nice things. So Max, I love how you laid that out right there. See, Max did the velvet glove. I just come in with the hammer, and Max is the velvet glove. So, because even in Bloomberg Law, they said, and in the writing, his plan has little chance of becoming law, especially after Republicans took control of the House in January. There it is. You heard it. So that's why I'm taking back the star, you guys. And when Democrats discussed the Biden agenda, they had the prime opportunity in the 117th Congress to pass legislation that protects Social Security, Medicare, and voting rights. And that is the problem, folks. When you have power, let me just go and break this down. When you have power, you have to use it right then and there, because you don't know how long it's gonna last. That's it. And that's all. And nature abhors a vacuum. And so Democrats should have got to getting in the 117th Congress, because they always knew it might be a chance that they might lose both or one of the chambers of the Congress. Now my toddlers know this, and they 3 years old, one is 3 and one is 1.5. They understand this. And why can't we get grown folks who are elected to office to understand that you don't let power just linger, baby, you use it. And especially when you want to use it for the good. So that's just me. Gave him the star, I gave it to him, and I'm taking it back. Now, the president is just really into this bipartisan relationship with the GOP thing, and it's making me a little uneasy. Now listen, if bipartisanship means strengthening the social safety net, then I'm all for it. But if bipartisanship means shaving off the social safety net and continuing to make the everyday people of this nation wait and languish while corporatists who are greedy as hell, most of them, get to live the high life for themselves and for their children and their children's children, their children's children, their children, those children after that, while Big Mama and Big Papa's children language, I ain't for that kind of bipartisanship. But this is what the president, so instead President Biden was so busy playing cute with the shadow president, Joe Manchin, who has not ruled out running for president, mind you, to cut deals with the GOP. Let's put up this headline. Manchin calls for Social Security Medicare deal stokes GOP optimism. You know why? Because he GOP like. That's why they all giddy about this. And the reality is that too many people rely on programs, so many people, not too many people, rely on programs like Medicare. Too many for politicians to play games. People need it. Let's put up this chart, team, really quickly. Percentage of people covered by Medicare in the United States from 1990 to 2021. Now, if you are looking, you see it has gone up, up, and up. If you are listening to us, let me just tell you, this chart is from the United States Census Bureau, and the needs are going up, 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 and up. So now if you're having trouble reading that, or you're just listening, the percentage of those who rely on Medicare shot up by 5% since 1990. That's pretty much what that chart is saying. Now, don't let Biden stunt at the State of the Union where he got members of the GOP to promise. Now, the president called him out, but it was kind of light. Promise not to cut Social Security or Medicare. I don't believe that any of those ghouls, to quote M on the team, he calls these people ghouls, that these ghouls, I don't believe them for a hot second, not a millisecond. Check out the Republican Study Committee plan. Let's put this up, team. The Republican Study Committee plan, the plan would balance the budget in 10 years by slashing government health programs and other domestic spending. Want to cut Social Security 4%, Medicare 24%, Medicaid, CHIP, Obamacare 49%, other mandatory spending like food assistance, farm subsidies, military retirement, ain't that some stuff? And anti-government programs 60%, defense a 1% gain, all of the spending, veterans, health, transportation, education, law enforcement, research and foreign affairs, 49% cut. These are people's lives that our members of Congress are playing games. Max, your thoughts?
Well, it shows you a lot that Republicans are so confident proposing and standing behind ideas that have 60, 70, 80% of the country opposed to them is because they know the secret's out, that Democratic consultants don't want Democrats to push this issue. They want to try and get to bipartisanship. But the reality is bipartisanship should never stand in the way of actual progress. And the worry here is, I hear a lot of Democratic consultants say if he forces this, it'll end up in the courts and Republicans will fight it. But when have you ever heard Republicans back off from a single idea because it would end up in the courts?
Come on.
Those years it's in the courts, it's still in place and it's still law. That's how Republicans have found to successfully move policy forward. We're afraid to use that same tool.
Max, you dropping the gems today, baby. Bipartisanship should never get in the way of progress. America, did you hear that? Did you hear what Brother Max just said? Bipartisanship, Mr. President, can you hear us? Bipartisanship should never get in the way of progress. So baby, if it's getting in the way of progress, that's the kind of bipartisanship you do not need. Max, that is it. And you're right, the Republicans don't hesitate to use power, even if they are using it in one of the most repressive ways, which unfortunately today's Republicans, that is the way they're using it most of the time on the state and federal levels of government in particular. America, we got to do better. We can do better. We must stop being complicit